Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome to the start of this Let's Play of Resident Evil, or more accurately, the 2015 HD remaster of the 2002 remake of the 1996 PS1 game, Resident Evil. So, I'm finally doing it. I'm finally coming around to doing a playthrough of this game, which, in my opinion, is the very best of the classic style Resident Evil games. The fixed camera, tank controls, survival horror style of Resident Evil, I think really peaked with this game. And Resident Evil 0, which came after this, couldn't quite match up, though I still think it's a pretty decent game. It's a surprise to me that it took me so long to get to this game. Because, I never would have thought that I would do two different other remasters of Resident Evil games before I would get to this one. Or remakes, rather. Sorry, not remasters. It's hard to differentiate between those two when this is both a remake and a remaster. Alright, so let's get in here. Coming into this fresh off of the crisp playthrough of the original game that I just did. So, you can do widescreen or original, alternate or original controls. The alternate controls are essentially camera relative instead of being more standard tank controls. I'm going to go with original because I actually have more trouble with the alternate control scheme than I do with the original tank controls. But I'm not one of those purists who is angry that there is a option for a different control scheme, because those people are kind of stupid. Alright, and then we have this question. How do you like your game? Like climbing a mountain? Fulfilling, but takes a lot of work. Like going on a hike? Good exercise, but not too strenuous. Or like taking a walk? You can relax and enjoy yourself. This is, though it's not entirely clear, the difficulty select for this game. Because the original didn't really have a difficulty select aside from Jill, normal, Chris, hard. Essentially, instead of even being hard, normal, or easy, this is normal difficulty, easy difficulty, or very easy difficulty. Really, the only equivalent of a hard mode is the extra modes you unlock when you beat the game. We're going to go with normal. And since we did just do the crisp playthrough of the original, we're going to go with Jill, because it's been a little while since we've played with her. They also added the Bsaa costumes for this, for the PC port. So that's a little silly. They definitely look out of place, but they're just extra costumes. The other unlockable costumes are still in this as well. Alright, let's go back to Jill. Standard Jill with her beret. And sadly, no live-action cutscene for this, but as charming as the original is, I do think this is
flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we are searching for the helicopter of our compatriots, Bravo team, who disappeared during the middle of their mission.
This is a good, serious take on that cutscene. Also, see Resident Evil 0 if you want to find out what happened to Bravo team.
Cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. The Bravo team was sent in to investigate, but we lost contact.
Look, Chris!
Bravo team's helicopter was a derelict. Save for the remaining body of Kevin.
You never see how Kevin dies in Resident Evil 0. You never see him again after the first cutscene.
We continued our search for the other members, and it turned into a nightmare.
Joseph Frost, the only one who has anything except a pistol. He's also got this weird, 1996 body cam. It's just a big-ass camera on his shoulder. And nobody else has one. Yeah, see, there it is there. It's like a full-size security camera. That's why you don't let down your guard there, Joseph. Jill fired off her entire magazine and did not hit a single one of them.
Come on! Hey! Brad! Where the hell's he going?
And of course, they don't just stand there and stare longingly at the sky when Brad leaves them there.
Chris, this way. Damn it! Make for that mansion!
Enter the survival horror.
There are only 3 S.T.A.R.S members left now. Captain Wesker, Barry, and myself. We don't know where Chris is.
Somehow Chris got separated in that short run to the mansion.
What is this place?
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
Hey, Wesker, where's Chris?
Jill, no! You don't want to go back out there.
But we've got to find...
What was that?
Chris?
No.
Jill, go and investigate.
I'm going with her. Chris and I go back a long way.
All right. You two go. I'll secure this area.
Stay sharp.
We also really don't have any of the goofy lines from the original. It's a much more serious game, which I think is what Shinji Mikami was going for when he decided the original didn't hold up and they needed to do a remake.
A dining room.
Personally, I still think that this game very much holds up visually, though I should mention that I am using an AI texture upscale for the backgrounds, so it just crispens them up a little bit since they weren't really touched much, even when they changed it to widescreen. Alright. Ink ribbon. So Jill starts with a... Oh, I'm trying to remember what button is which. I'm playing like 3 different versions of Resident Evil, so my controls are all over the place. Alright, so Jill starts with a handgun and a survival knife. You can see it's not called a Beretta anymore, since it is now the customized Berettas made by Kendo. The Samurai Edge. Now it says S.T.A.R.S RPD Special Team on it, and Mod Samurai Edge, law enforcement use only. So that was redesigned for this. Mid-size, lightweight survival knife, Jill's personal protection knife used for close encounters. I believe Chris does start with a different one, but they are statistically the same. Also, the music is like really oppressive in this one room. And for some reason, they had to give Jill jiggle physics. Jiggle physics.
Take a look at this.
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Let's just hope it's not Chris's.
This does just make me really wish that somebody with an actual budget would try making a game like this with, you know, fixed cameras and pre-rendered backgrounds, because I think that you could do some really detailed pre-rendered backgrounds these days. But of course, the only people who are trying that are small indie teams who can't really do top-end graphics. You know, like there's... If you're familiar with Residents of Evil, which is like a fan channel for Resident Evil, they've got their own game coming that is doing pre-rendered backgrounds, but again, they don't really have a huge budget. Alright, first zombie, and he's eating one of our companions in Bravo team. We're just gonna ignore him and go back to Barry.
Barry!
What is it?
Look out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of it!
And Barry just goes for center of mass. Which is why it takes 3 shots.
What the hell is this thing?
I found Kenneth killed by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
Hey Wesker, did you hear those gunshots? If not, let's go tell you about them.
Wesker! Jill, help me look for him. Let's not leave this hall.
Good idea.
Jill's side of the game is still very much the cutscene heavy one, because you do run into Barry quite a bit throughout the game, and that's only increased in this version. So, the main hall is not too different, but there are more doors, and there is a door back here. In the original, this area was like completely unused. There was just a weird little hallway behind the stairs here that didn't do anything. Better finish searching the hall first.
Barry.
Any luck, Jill?
No, nothing. What's going on around here? I can't figure it out.
Same here.
Chris, and now Wesker.
There's not much we can do. We can search for him separately. I'll investigate the dining room again.
Okay, then. I'll try the door on the other side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could easily get lost. Let's start from the first floor.
Okay.
Oh, I almost forgot. It's a lockpick. You'd make better use of it.
I still don't really understand why Barry had the lockpick at all. Like, why didn't Jill just have one? He clearly doesn't know how to use them.
I may need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. Got it?
Okay.
So by this point, they had introduced character-specific items, and Jill's is the lockpick, which goes in its own little slot up there. A tool for unlocking most simple locks. Okay, so now we're given free reign. It's very possible that I'm going to die in this first episode, because this game is still very difficulty front-loaded. Later on, we'll have more weapons and more ammo, but at the beginning, it's pretty much just, where can I find bullets? So we're going to save, just so I don't have to do all that again if I die. Nice of them to give you a typewriter at the start of the game. And for whatever reason, they moved this typewriter from the main hall to the dining room. It's one of the minor changes. Okay. So Barry says search the first floor first. Let's not go this way just yet, because we already know there's a zombie there. And just like in the original, even if Barry shoots it for you, it still just goes back to its hallway. You don't actually get a free dead zombie off of that. Now, killing zombies is a little bit more of a tricky proposition in this game because of a new mechanic that I'm not going to explain until we actually encounter it. Suffice to say, there is a downside to killing zombies. So, we got our map here, still in the same spot. There's a map of the mansion, first floor. Now, one of the excellent features that was added to Remake, and is not in any other Resident Evil, is that they color the room red if there are still items or other things you can interact with that you haven't yet. So that way you can actually clear it out and figure out what you missed. 0 instead would just track the actual items on the map, but only if you've already interacted with them. So, it's kind of better, but kind of not. I feel like if you combine the two, you'd have the best possible map. But as it is, I do think this is probably one of the best maps in any Resident Evil game, or map functions. unlike Code Veronica, which has a dogshit map. We're just gonna put that back. A portrait hangs on the wall. It almost seems like it's watching you. I mean, that's like 4 portraits. Or she just says the same thing about all of the art. Portraits and photographs decorate the wall. It looks like it could come to life at any moment. Woman drawing water. One thing I think this game does very well over the first game is instilling just a sense of how decayed and decrepit this mansion is. Like in the original, it just kind of looked old, but here there's like dust and rust and everything just looks like it's been kind of rotten for a while, which really indicates that this mansion was not a real lived-in mansion. Various art supplies. And this is a new mechanic. This is a defense item, so it doesn't go in our inventory. It has its own slot as well. Emergency evade. Using defensive items such as daggers will allow you to escape momentarily when grabbed by an enemy. However, you will not be able to escape when the enemy grabs you from behind. To equip a defense item, go to the status screen and then select an item from the defensive item menu. Then select the equip command. If your defensive item mode is set to manual in the controller settings, you must press left bumper to use the defensive item. And I should have that set to manual, because there are times when you just want to take the damage and not waste your defense item. So we'll keep that in mind, that left bumper is the defense item button. Alright, so yeah, you can see there are 2 different defense items. The daggers are shared by both characters, so, you know, they both can pick these up. And then both of them have their own unique defense item as well. By stabbing with this dagger, you'll be able to protect yourself and escape from hostile situations. Essentially, all the dagger does is it does a very small amount of damage, and it frees you from a grab. Doesn't stop you from immediately getting grabbed again, though. And then Jill also has a taser, but she didn't bring any batteries for it, so we have to find battery packs to fill that up. Alright. And then we basically have a tutorial for how to use this defense item. I don't think you can slip by this guy without getting grabbed. And that gives you enough time to run past him. So, if you kill him with a headshot, you can get your defense item back. Otherwise, it pretty much is just wasted. We're not going to shoot him because he is trapped, so he's not our problem. Alright. So another thing that they've added to the main hall that wasn't here before is this door right in the center. It's like an painting door. Which leads to this little backyard kind of area. There's a zombie here. Can I slip by him? Actually, I can, but I don't think I'm going to want to just yet. A lot of the puzzles have been changed just slightly, but there's also just a general different progression of what items you need to get to new areas. So, we want to go down to where Kenneth was. Be pretty cautious because I don't have the good kind of starting path memorized or anything, so I'm gonna have to feel out where we should go. Especially with how much of the original Resident Evil I've been playing recently. Like, my memory of enemy distributions is all fucked up. Alright, so the zombie that Barry shot is back in this hallway, but he's all the way down there, so He's not our problem right now. Kenneth's head, still attached. The corpse of your comrade, Kenneth. It looks like he's holding something. It's the film that belonged to Kenneth. I need a video player to see what's recorded on it. So I guess he had one of those shoulder cams too, you can see it there. Unfortunately, it looks like his throat's been torn out. He doesn't have 2 magazines for us this time. Also, there's this door, which wasn't here in the original. This also has a bit of the Silent Hill style of moving camera, where it's still kind of a fixed camera, but it'll rotate with your character as you pass it, which is a little more dynamic than just purely fixed cameras. We got another magazine here, or our first magazine, I guess, since there wasn't any back there. Also, you can see on the left, there is working reflections, which is a little impressive for the original. A large bird cage. There's a dead raven inside. There's a corpse collapsed on the floor like it was an instant death. What the hell happened in this mansion? I don't know what's up with this guy. He obviously looks like he's a zombie that's going to get back up, but I believe he's not here next time we come by. Also, there's just shackles on the wall of this staircase. Yeah, you know, they're just decorative shackles. And some green herbs. I guess we'll take both of them. I think that's all we can do in this room. Yep, that's everything here, so it's now turned white. Alright, so here we have another corpse on the ground that you can see he's looking a little different. But he's not our problem right now. Oh, shit. I was hoping to slink by this guy. But unfortunately I stood around in the other area too long. Alright, so the reason we want to come in here is for this. The golden arrow. Examine an item from the status screen, select an item, then select the examine command. Details of the item will be displayed. So this is a tutorial for how this particular type of item works, where you examine them, and then it'll say, oh, this arrowhead looks like it can be removed. And bam. Arrowhead is made from peridot, sometimes referred to as poor man's emerald. Now we have an arrowhead. And actually, surprisingly, even though Jill has less health than Chris, she didn't actually go down from green fine from that one zombie. Alright, we got another magazine here, and you can see in the mirror, a zombie to my left. But he's not paying attention, so we'll leave him be. Actually, I was gonna say it might be worth killing this guy, but not yet. You, on the other hand, are gonna be a problem. I forgot that you have to pull right trigger to fire in this. Shit. And now we're gonna have problems. See, I don't want to kill them yet because it's gonna be bad for me later. Locked from the other side. But all we needed was the arrowhead. So yeah, because I've been playing the Sega Saturn version of the original Resident Evil, my controls were all messed up, because that has very restrictive control scheme. Even though the Sega Saturn has 6 friggin' face buttons, only 3 of them are used, and only 2 of them are actually used for gameplay. And there's no map button. Alright, so let's see. I guess we're going to want to get to a save room so we can wrap up the first episode. So, we should also use the arrowhead, just to get it out of the way. Which means we are going to have to probably kill this zombie down here. Oh no, I might be able to get by him. Get him over here. Oh, he's going to trap me though. And you can see there's another one in the graveyard. A tomb engraved with a picture of an angel. There's an indentation in the shape of an arrowhead. Thankfully, I think those two zombies won't come near the entrance here, so I don't have to worry about getting trapped. Just descend this creepy staircase into the ground. A stone statue with a hole where the eyes should be. Stone statue with holes where the eyes, nose, and mouth should be. Stone statue with a hole where the nose should be. And a stone statue with a hole where the mouth should be. Except the mouth should be a hole of its own, so really, there's nothing missing. And we have this chained up coffin over here, as well as this gear that I'm not really sure what the gear does. The flames are burning higher and higher. It looks as if they'll overtake you any minute now. A book is fitted perfectly in the indentation. Will you take the Book of Curses? I mean, generally, if you find something and it says Book of Curses on it, you don't want to take it. You want to leave it alone. But when in Rome, it's titled Book of Curses. Actually, it looks like it's titled Next World. Or Writing of the Next World? There's a key embedded on the back cover. Will you remove it? You got the mansion key. Book of Curses. The 4 masks. A mask that speaks no evil. A mask that smells no evil. A mask that sees no evil. A mask that cannot speak, smell, or see evil. When all 4 fall into place, evil will awaken. So as you might surmise from that, we need to collect 4 masks, instead of the 4 crests that you needed in the original. Also, we're going to heal up, and examine our key, engraving of a sword. So in the original, something I forgot during my Chris run, but Jill actually never gets the sword key because she can just use her lockpick to open any of the sword key doors. Here, that's not the case. So I think I actually did need to come down here before I could go to the save room I'm thinking of. Okay, where are these zombies at? Right in front of me. Great. Thought they were a little farther back. Okay, I don't think he's done yet. Oh, they're merging together. Yeah, so they can't come down this staircase, thankfully. I'm going to keep doing that because in the Sega Saturn version, I have to hit Start to bring up that menu. Alright, now I'm in danger. Okay, I can get past him. So that zombie that I just killed is going to be a problem later. But for now, we're going to forget about him. I'm glad I didn't die there, though. That would have been a pain. But I did expect that I would be hurting in the first episode. Probably in the second episode as well, honestly. Alright, let's ignore our trapped zombie in there and use our sword key over here to enter that hallway. You know, the one that everybody knows. Except this time, it's a fake out, and the window just cracks a little bit. Nothing jumps through it. Okay. Dagger, that would have come in handy when we were outside. Picture of the mansion suspended in darkness. You notice these are just full of plates now and not skulls. But we got another magazine under here, so now we're doing alright on ammo. We can afford to take out a few zombies. Okay, lockpick that door, but we won't go through it yet. And in this creepy, filthy bathroom, we have a bathtub full of water. And you can see the plug down there, like right where I'm aiming, you can see the plug. It's full of dirty water. Remove the plug. Yep. There was a zombie in there, even though we could clearly see there was not a zombie in there. That zombie would smell so especially bad. Which is probably why she throws up, because he would be like sogging off of his bones there. Doesn't look like it's been serviced in a while, because it's full of vomit. So yeah, this zombie is just dead. She stomped his skull in. And all that was in there was another defense dagger. So we never need to go into this room again. What an unusual room. There are traces of something burnt here. An acrid smell permeates the air. Pictures, stands, and bronze statues. There's nothing of interest here. Again, just a very crusty-looking sitting room. Another dagger. It's pretty good. We got 3 of those now. And another ink ribbon. Good thing we still got one of those stacked, so it's not a waste of space. And a shotgun. One that looks a bit more like a trench gun than the Winchester of the original game. I don't know why. I just really love these little animations they do for the weapons. You've made a mistake, girlie. That was my favorite shotgun. Honestly, even in 1998, in 1897, would probably be worth a lot of money.
Now. Wesker! Barry! Help!
Jill! You in there?
Barry? Get me out of here! The door's jammed!
Stand back! Grab my hand!
I do like that Jill's immediate reaction as soon as she got to the door was just to sink to the floor. She's like, this will give me the most time.
Barry.
That was a close one. A second late, You would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
Really? Thanks. But Barry, didn't you say you were going back to the dining room to find other clues? I'm glad and all, but why are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Anyway, we should get back to searching for Wesker and Chris.
The
Thanks,
bathroom's
Barry.
over there, if that's what you're looking for, Barry.
I owe you one.
Don't mention it.
All right, thanks, Barry. Now, of course, if this was Chris, nobody would come to save him, and he would have just been crushed. But Jill has a friend in Barry. Let's say there should be a zombie right here. I think he's around the corner. Yep, there he is. We're not going to mess with him. We're just going to go straight through this door. I do like that they reference the original lines without just either repeating them or removing them entirely. Okay, this guy we're going to want to deal with. I'm actually going to use the shotgun. You might think this is going to be a waste, but we'll have reasons for it later. Come here, asshole. Now, the upshoot doesn't quite work as well as it used to, but it still sort of works. I say, and fucking vaporized his skull. Okay, so maybe it does work pretty well. Another little thing they added is that the pistol does have a chance of doing a critical headshot, in which case their head will just explode. And if their head explodes, then they're not a problem later. Alright, first safe room. We're gonna wrap up here, but let's grab this stuff first. Special instructions for the disposal of dead bodies. We have new information regarding those beings. They may appear to be dead, but in fact they are able to come back to life. However, there are ways to prevent them from becoming active again. Currently, there are 2 known methods to cease their resurrection: incineration or destruction of the head. If further methods are discovered, you will be notified immediately. Meanwhile, to those of you who have the will to live, oil has been placed on the first floor of the mansion. Take as much as you need. You'll need something to light it with, which you'll need to find by yourself. So yes, even if you kill a zombie, they will come back again later. Not only that, they'll come back again later as something worse, which is why I'm going to be hesitant about killing zombies, especially in areas we need to go through multiple times. But we do have the canteen here that we can fill up with kerosene. So yeah, this is just another kind of resource we need to juggle. There is not enough kerosene to incinerate every zombie in the game. And we don't have a lighter right now because we're not playing as Chris, so we can't use it. Alright, they start us with 1 first aid spray in the box. Let's deposit the shotgun as well. So, we're gonna save here. Also, first gonna equip my gun. Oh, actually, let's get rid of the knife too. We're not gonna need it. Jill does get a decent amount of handgun ammo. Alright, so I think that's off to a good start, because I didn't die, which I expected to. So hopefully we can keep things on a fairly positive forward path in the next episode. But until then, I've been Shadefyre, this is Resident Evil, and thank you for joining me in the Spencer Mansion once again. Take care, everyone.